Hi, I'm Mr. Shankel. Welcome to Eureka Math. I'm going to help you today with Module 1, Lesson 18. Let's get started. Today we talked about finding a rate by dividing two quantities, and we used problems similar to the example that we have here today, which is Alejandra drove from Michigan to Colorado to visit her friend. The speed limit on the highway was 70 miles per hour. If Alejandro's combined driving time for the trip was 14 hours, how many miles did Alejandra drive? Well, we start with a rate here that's 70 miles per hour, so I'm going to write that as a fraction, 70 miles in 1 hour. And we remember that we can use equivalent ratios to find the answer to this. We just make an equivalent ratio, and we remember that ratios units have to be consistent and corresponding, so that means that I'll have to have miles again in my numerator and hours again in my denominator. So miles to hours compares to miles to hours here. And then I know that I want to change the hours into 14 hours instead of 1. So I look at how I can change 1 into 14, and I realize that if I just multiply by 14, 1 times 14 is 14, and if I multiply by 14 in the denominator, I have to multiply by 14 in the numerator. So 70 times 14 will be my answer, and 70 times 14 is 980. So I know that after 14 hours, Alejandro will drive 980 miles. Now, you may have been able to look at the question and say to yourself, well, I would just have to multiply here. 70 miles per hour for 14 hours, 70 times 14. And I agree. So let's set that up. 70 miles in 1 hour times 14 hours. All right, and then I see that we have fractions here, so I'd like my 14 to also be a fraction, and I can make that a fraction by putting it over 1. 14 divided by 1 is also 14. And then I can see that when I multiply 70 times 14, I get my answer of 980. And on the denominator, I see 1 times 1 is 1, so 980 over 1. But when I multiply like this, I need to also look at my units. And so when I look at my units, I can see that I have miles here times hours. Miles times hours. Well, those are mile hours. And I don't really know what a mile hour is. But I also see that I have hours in the denominator. So I want you to look at this hours here in the numerator and an hours here in the denominator. And then just think about it this way. 5 divided by 5, well, that's equal to 1. And 10 divided by 10, that's equal to 1. And really, any number x divided by any number x is equal to 1. So anything divided by itself is 1. So when we look at the hours divided by hours, that's 1. So what we really have here is the hours are turned into the number 1. Hours divided by hours is 1. So I would really multiply by the number 1 here, and I would multiply on the denominator by the number 1 here. Well, that doesn't really change anything. So what we say is we're able to cancel out these units. Hours divided by hours cancels out. And once those are gone, I only have 1 unit left, and that's miles. So my answer is 980 right here, miles. Okay, what we've just done is called unit analysis. And what it does is it allows me to use the units to figure out how to solve these answers. It allows us to convert from inches to feet and miles to yards and things like that. And we're going to be using this concept in the next few lessons. So finding the answer is important, finding out that after 14 hours that she will drive 980 miles. That is important. But use the unit analysis ideas of the bottom portion here to help you to get used to setting up problems so that we can cancel units and find the answer automatically. Okay, that's lesson 18. We'll do a lot more of these in the next 3 or 4 lessons. Hope that helps. See you next time.